This video is brought to you by greensyrup.ca. Make sure you go visit greensyrup.ca and enter in super code SUPERFAN20. Use all capital letters and you will get $20 off the products they have on the site. That's my super code for you. Now go use it. Hello world, welcome to the Fonz's office. Today I have a super special guest with me. He is from Norway. He is known as Stanley, the Viking Hofsteader, and he is with RAGNAROK, Bare Knuckle Fighting. Stan, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thank you. It's pleasure to be here and be on your show, so it'll be interesting.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I appreciate you making some time to come to the Fonz's office today. While you are in your own office way over there in Norway, I'm over here on the west coast of Canada. We've got 9 hours difference between us, but we managed to make this work so that the world can learn a little bit more about RAGNAROK, bare knuckle fighting. Stan, how would you like to start this off today? Can you tell us a little bit about the forming of RAGNAROK, bare knuckle fighting?
Yeah, of course. I will try to make it a little bit short because I've had I've done it a little bit longer earlier because I didn't know what to say. But RAGNAROK is a fighting company based on, well, we have a story like from the Viking times, and we take out 13 of the best fighters to the Viking team, and they travel the world to fight each country's greatest fighters through times. So if we go to Italy, we have they're fighting the Gladiators, and by doing this, we are making a lot of enthusiasm between the crowds and a good build-up before the fight. So yeah,
absolutely. You've mentioned that you're planning on going and traveling the world with the Viking team. So and you'll be taking on fighters from other countries. You've mentioned Italy and the Gladiators. So when you go and you have a match, you're going to have 13 of your fighters, the Vikings, take on 13 Gladiators. Will that be a tournament style format, or is it just going to be one-on-one with the winner being declared the winner?
Yeah, thank you. That's an interesting question that nobody else had asked before, because, and that's I'm happy for it because I just found out how I'm going to do it. But okay. It works like we have belts. We have in each weight category. We have the European champions. We have the world champions. We are creating a big world around here around RAGNAROK. It's not just the Vikings or just the Gladiators. And to give you an idea of how it is, it's like we are going around the world, like I say, and we send we also help the other countries. We actually just give them RAGNAROK, and they are happy about that, of course. And we have like this we change so we help each other out. We give them the show and they come back to us, so both of us will gain money from the crowd. And we are very open about building their brand as well, because that will also benefit us on a later level. If you have big brands, they have good fighters, you will add up with a good quality on a later level. So it's working out perfect. So every country we fight, or every warriors we fight 2 times, home and away.
Beautiful. That's a very awesome concept. So it's not necessarily a tournament format. You're going to have fighters from different weight classes fighting in each country. So, and you mentioned that it's going to be set up in a style that it's going to be almost like a home and an away 2-part series. You're planning on having the Vikings face the Gladiators on Italian soil, and then also on Norwegian soil.
Yeah, and what we're doing as well, we're trying to keep us as exact to the story of the earlier the times, so we don't fuck up any stories. We just try to keep it and involve that in in our fight game, then it's not like we play a game, but we try to involve it to create like a storyline and everything. And if you have a guy called Ragnar, okay, he can just be the Ragnar guy from the Viking series. Like it's not something like that. So yeah, as we know, we don't never. I don't think we have any historical facts about Vikings ever facing the gladiators, but it's a fight that the audience definitely would like to see if it would happen in real time. So that is giving us a lot of attention on that part. So, and of course the other countries, all countries have some kind of warriors that they are proud of, even if it's from the early days before Christ or after World War I or after that one. Everybody has some kind of cavalry. Like in Poland, they have a cavalry called Hussars.
Yeah.
The guy who rode out with big eagle feathers on their backs and branched through all this walls that he could do. So they all have something, and they're all very proud of it. So that creates a lot of enthusiasm, and that creates a good show.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You've mentioned the Italians, so Italy and Poland. The United Kingdom, I believe, is another country that you will be incorporating with the Saxons. Is that correct? The Saxons the Vikings versus the Saxons is going to be the first event for Ragnarok. And if not,
sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. If not mistaken, that will be August 21st in Norway.
Yeah, it's just a perfect way to kick off the whole Europe tour and Africa tour, because we all know that the Vikings were happily engaging in combat in England for a long time, and when I started writing the show or the story, I was thought that how cool wouldn't it be if they came back for revenge for what we did. And just by putting that out there with a little like YouTube video that I made on my iPhone, it exploded. People were just like, "Oh, we're going up to revenge everything," and it just created a lot of enthusiasm. I thought, "Okay, shit, this works." Yeah. So it's like when we have, it's just the same as when we have a flag. You know, if it's curling, if you have a Canadian flag, you will root for the Canadian flag. You don't give a shit about the sport. You're just there for the flag. And
correct.
It kind of works like a similar way here. And as we know, Vikings are in a good spot right now. So yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. The comparison that I'm kind of thinking of is almost like the Olympics of bare knuckle fighting. You get the different countries that are competing for their country's namesake, but also it's individual competition, mano a mano.
Yes, and what we're trying to do, Bill, we are very what do you call it? Clear on that. We are not going into any countries and trying to compete with any leagues or step on anybody's toes. We are basically just a traveling show, just like a Champions League, going around and offering all the organizations another belt. So if they have anybody for each organization, whoever wants to be a part of it, they can try out and try to get into it, and how we do it. So it's open for everybody.
Beautiful.
So in that way, we don't create so many enemies.
Absolutely right. That definitely makes a lot of sense. As a fan, I'm not a businessman, so to speak. As a super fan, that is a brilliant idea, because from my side of things, I love to watch fighters fight, right? Yeah. And that's what fighters love to do. Fighters love to fight, a real fighter anyways. So there are times that a fighter may be hesitant on signing a contract because they may have aspirations to do something else down the road, and they don't want to tie themselves up for a long term. You apparently with Ragnarok are open to fighters coming and signing and fighting with Ragnarok, but also still fighting elsewhere. Can you speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, it's of course something that works to our benefit, but it's like when both me and Andrew has been in the fight business for many years. So we kind of know what they're missing and what we would like it to be if we were fighting on it. So just the whole idea about keeping people there in your organization, said no, you cannot fight anybody else or do anything else. That's just a ridiculous thought to me, because I know it's very common, but because let's say that he wants to go there. Okay, he gets fight training. We have like for example a rule that you cannot fight for anybody else 4 weeks before just because of damages or something like that. But we embrace it. If you want to go fight there, you can. Okay, he'll get better shape. He'll get more. And most of all, he will bring our name there because he used to fight for Ragnarok. That will be mentioned in the other organizations' presentation. So basically, we get free advertisement from the other organizations then.
Yeah, you see that, to me, that makes a lot of sense. Do you have that agreement with those other organizations up front that the co-promoting, in a sense, would happen, or is that just something that you're hoping will happen?
We are. There are not too many people doing it that way. So we hope it can be a trend that can turn around, because you don't want to create a hostile environment between you and your fighter. That would just be stupid for both parts. And if you could be brick around along the roads to their fame or what the dream they want to fight, why not? And be a positive memory that they have on their road. That would be probably everybody's dream, to be not to be an asshole afterwards. You have fighters in the game there, so yeah.
That definitely makes sense. With that all being said, now and bringing back in the home field, away field styled events, you mentioned you're going to have 13 Vikings that are going to be going into another country. Will those same 13 fighters be on the return leg, or can those fighters be interchanged? Like, are you going to be going with the same 13 fighters for the home and away, or is there going to be opportunity? I guess it would depend on what the other fighters' contract situations are. Yeah,
again, by not having them having them to stay in they don't have to stay there. If they want to go elsewhere, there will of course be some changes there. Someone will be injured, but it's, let's say, a lot more like this. We have a lot of people wanting to fight for us. So knowing that there are people who wants your spot, that makes you work a little bit harder. So the guy who does best or is the best shape, or he wants to fight for us, of course, he will be he can easily take a spot on the Viking team. There's no safe place on the Viking team like that. But of course, we try to keep them like, okay, if they have, we can just use a storyline like in more like in Northern mythology. They come from that area, so we don't separate them with, or we have them mixed up with all the other guys. But the cool thing about Vikings is that they used to take hostages and kidnap people and bring them into their armies. So they brought in a lot of guys from England and all over the world. So we can use that storyline as well. So it's quite easy, yeah. But it's not certain that the same team will be on the home and away. It's not. But we try to use local fighters. We try to, when we go to Poland, we want to use Polish fighters. We have a lot of fighters from Gromda and all this, and Vatora. They have a lot of good fighters down there, of course. But the best guys will get to the team, and it will always be like that in Norway, England, or South Africa, or wherever we are.
Excellent. I like how you mentioned about the Vikings going and taking hostages, bringing them in to their own armies. In a sense, that has happened right now with Shannon the Cannon Rich. Yeah. He's over in America, but he has been recruited onto the Viking team. Not only will he be a fighter with Ragnarok on the Vikings versus the Saxons event, he's also doing some interviews on a segment called The Cannon's Corner. I saw his interview with a friend of mine, Jack Draper. He's interviewing the opposing team members as well. I thought that was super cool. How did you and Shannon meet up?
Actually, I have gotten a lot of free credit for bringing Shannon on. It wasn't actually me who did it. It was Andrew who did that. But he is the best matchmaker in the world, as we know. But Shannon, I think Shannon basically reached out to us, and he said that, listen, I'm the best promoter, the guy with the most MMA fights in the world. I've done this, and you know how he can sell himself.
Yes.
He's a walking marketing animal. So he's a great asset to Ragnarok as well. Yeah, I basically think he contacted us, and then from there we just went like, okay, cool. Every show needs a star. I think Shannon is a guy who will get a lot of more credit later on in the years to come because he is a legend. He's fought since 1991, I think. He have over 240 fights, something like that in MMA. He's been 8-time world champion in MMA. He has a lot of story with him, so he will be a legend definitely in some kind of Hall of Fame on later level. So he is a perfect guy to have, like on the main card, first show. And also, it's a brilliant opportunity for Gas Coran, who is the world champion in Bare Knuckle and also the English champion in that way. So it will make a lot of sense that fight. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. As you mentioned, Gaz is a champion as well. Shannon Rich has over 25 bare knuckle bouts under his belt on record that I'm aware of. It's definitely a great billing to have those two squaring off against one another as well. And again, was that one of Andrew's matches that he put together, or was that one that just kind of fell together? Like sometimes fights just form because they make sense.
Yeah, Gas Coran had a little advantage because when I like everybody knows, I can take this story because nobody has heard it before. I was signed to a company called UBKB when I was fighting. That's actually Sean Smith's company, what do you call them? The enforcer in England, the English version of enforcer or something like that. And my idea, it came along when I was fighting, and how do I say this? It's of course then I needed a guy like Andrew, and he was the nearest guy, and I set up a great presentation. I wanted to fly them out to Norway and all of that, but they had. It's hard to say what they had, but basically they were trying to take most of my company away. And when I didn't want to have them engaged in it because I saw what's going to happen, they actually fired me at 5 o'clock in the morning from the company because they meant that NBKB, Norwegian Bare Knuckle Boxing Association, was a promotion company. So I had fooled them, but everybody in the whole world knows now that that's wrong. So they fired me in a contract which was not over, a year contract again, and just at 5 o'clock in the morning, just on a fucking bender or something like that. So then that gave me a little bit sour shit in my face. So sure. I was very strict when I was picking out who am I going to collaborate with. So I used a lot of time, and like in that business, like with the promoters, there are a lot of sharks in the water. So, and Andrew just seemed to be the right guy.
Yeah.
So after calling him, I flew down. It went fast as hell. I just called him. Do you like it? Yes, I will fly down. Cool. We had beers, a lot of beers, and we met Gas Coran the same night. And Gas Coran was just like, "Okay, I'm in on everything you want to me in on." So that's how he got in. So he was actually in from the start. Yeah.
Perfect. That's amazing how that all just kind of formed and fell into place.
Yeah.
And
it's a little bit sad for Sean Smith then, because he could have been in a different position right now with us still, but
this is absolutely true, right? But we have to be held accountable for the decisions we make and for the behaviors that we have. So that basically played out for that gentleman the way how it did, right? So yeah. It goes to show that at any given point, our preconceived thought of our destination can change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And at any point in time, we can change that direction as well. Yeah. If anybody out there is watching right now and you are feeling like you're in a place that you don't know what's next, right now is the time to make that decision to give yourself a forward eyesight and focus on something positive in your future. Anybody can make a change at any given point, and at any given point that could be a positive change. So for you, while that one thing fell apart, something else was falling together immediately.
I was fired at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was building Ragnarok at 10 o'clock. So it turned out okay, didn't it?
It sure did, and it also goes to show the work ethic that you have and the dedication behind this brand as well. So
yeah, I've been lucky with I got the right the theme, and I got the right team. So I think it's of course it's been hard work, and we have been good at what I do, but I've been also lucky with the people that I have interfered with or gotten in contact with. So Absolutely. There are, like you said, there are a lot of sharks in the water, and I was just lucky after almost being eaten. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm thankful that turned out the way that it did.
Thank you.
Being a super fan of combat sports, and particularly bare knuckle. You've mentioned now also in regards to when you take the organization RAGNAROK and you go to another country, that those other countries will be benefiting from the RAGNAROK brand. How are these fights going to be sanctioned? Is there a governing body that will look after all the different countries, or are there going to be different sanctioning bodies from different countries? How will that work?
Yeah, first of all, I can say something about when we had Ragnarok and we came out and we made this promo and all this, we got a lot of calls, people calling us from different countries. So we got it easy with people who wanted to collaborate with us. We just had to find out who had the capacity to do it, of course. But when it comes to that with a governing body, it's most countries don't have it legalized. But I will say that most countries don't have a law against it, but it's not, that makes it not very good regulated. And that's something we've been missing in the bare knuckle industry, I think. A lot of people are working in the gray zone, like they call it. I don't know why they say it's in the gray zone, because if it's not illegal, then it's legal. So, but you know how the politics works. But to get it, that was actually why I started it, because I was getting sick and tired of hearing the boxing association in Norway commenting always on that. Oh no, it's not regulated. It's not very sanctioned. And I was thought, what the hell is that? And I just went in and Googled and checked out how do I make it. How do I make it regulated? And I just thought, okay, you have to have an association with a rules of association and articles of association, which regulates the sport. So I thought, okay, let's start an association. And by doing that, I was pretty lucky, because the politics in Norway is like boxing is it, and they have built their way in like it's impossible for MMA and Thai boxing to get in. But they didn't see bare knuckle boxing coming, because I just came in and I said, okay, shit, I can use those articles, because if the rules are the rules, okay, I can use them, perfect. So I just took their rules, put them over my side. After seven times I applied, but got nope. And then took their rules over and tried, okay, let's see if this works. And I got through. And it exploded in the newspapers in Norway. It was 18 newspapers, just he's got an association. And I thought, okay, what the hell is the big deal about that? But we know now why it's a big deal, because that was not what they had planned. So,
wow, that's absolutely amazing. That
yeah, it is that. And the case is, if we want to have it regulated, there are a few things that you need to get it legalized. You need an association which is approved, which I got pretty fast. And then you need to fulfill 13 demands that the Board of Approval will have to see if you live up to. That includes also anti-doping plan, which is quite complicated, because anti-doping is actually owned by the Norwegian Athletics Department, which are against you in the start of that.
Okay.
But with a lot of work, a lot of nagging, and a lot of just pushing on, and it went to this, that okay, we will get it. I have just paid a lawyer for how much is that? £4,000. It's like 40,000 crowns to give me the law set how to work through with WADA and everything, so it can be legalized that way. So I did that all after the rules of the boxing. I tried to do it exactly as boxing because they forgot to put in gloves in their rule set. So I just slipped through on their own rule set. So it was,
Wow.
Yeah, it was. People say, "Oh, so brilliant," but it was kind of 50% luck and 50% anger I got in. So yeah, and then we come to the governing body, because it's a common sense that you need something that is the competition rules for everything. And just like AIBA did, they actually built a rule set, and then they were smart, and then they just started. You cannot only use AIBA gloves, AIBA rings, AIBA accessories. So they made a fortune of that one. So I just called them up and asked them, can I use your rules? Is there anything against that? And they said, no, there's nothing against that. We can't change them if it's not to adapt to Norway's laws, or if it's to make it safer, that would be okay. So I just changed two spots there on that perfect governing body, which is less fight time, and no gloves, which makes it safer. So I just fulfilled their demands. So then I got the perfect governing body, the same as boxing, only more safe.
Wow, that's. I think that is more than 50-50 on the brilliance and the luck side. I think that the brilliance may lean to the heavier side, but yeah. You've mentioned.
And then they started coming, like South Africa wanted in, so they had to, you have to create an association. So I helped them create an association, which had the red thread from the governing body through all it. So they did that, and Ireland did it, France did it, Italy did it. Beautiful. And all the guys who's with us right now have taken the same governing body.
So what is that governing body?
What is? Yeah, it's
what is the name?
Yeah, World Bare Knuckle Fighting Organization.
Beautiful. That's awesome. And you mentioned that you had to go with shorter rounds. If it's my understanding that these fights are going to be 5 3-minute rounds, is that correct?
No, it's going to be 3 2-minute rounds.
3 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, but for the title fights, it will be 5 rounds.
But still 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, so it's
beautiful.
It's 6 minutes or 10 minutes. So boxing has, is it 42? I think it is. Yeah, so I just put it right down there. So it's made it safer at just one move.
I think with the shorter round times as well, with the 2-minute rounds, that's going to force the fighters into more action, which for the fans that are paying their dollars to watch these events, they're going to get more bang for their buck by watching the Ragnarok events as well.
They are good. I think that as well, and it's also safer, So
yes.
So that's the main thing that we're going for. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I've built for now. So yeah, it's working out good.
Very, very nice. Where will the fans be able to watch these events?
We have, or I have, or we call what we want. We have gotten ourselves some brilliant collaborators. 2 girls from actually from Poland, but they live in Norway. They work for film distribution company. So we have gotten our own streaming platform. Wow. And it's just the same name as the governing body, WBKF.tv. So there you can see all the interviews that Jan will be doing. Maybe I'll be doing some interviews, and there will also be streaming will be sent. The streaming from the Ragnarok fights. Not only the Vikings, but also like Ireland. They are having some fight weekend now in September. Those fights will also be streamed on our platform. So we are building it pretty fast. Yeah.
Excellent. That's a very, very good way to go about it. You have your own events on WBKF.tv, and then also will it be other forms of combat sports or just bare knuckle?
For now, we're concentrating on building up our collaborators brands as well as ours. So we are taking, it's like the Irish fight weekend. That is nothing to do with Ragnarok. So we're just helping them grow, expand as a company. But also we're filling our platform with, or maybe an app with all the fights. So if you go to the World, which is World Bare Knuckle Fighting Organization, or World Bare Knuckle Fighting TV, you will see fights from all over the world. You will have fights from Ireland, they will be there. You will have fights from Italy, you will have fights from France, and all, yeah, and etc., etc. And also the RAGNAROK ships, because in a past, you know, like BKFC is doing it, they're building their brand for BKFC, and they also have this total line where they put everybody under. We are just putting all the countries and making them grow at the same time, and that it benefits us because we got a lot of shows done.
Yeah, that to me that sounds like there's potential for a lot of content on WBKF.tv.
It is. So
excellent.
But we have plans. When you asked it, we have plans for doing other combat sports as well. That's why it's called World Bare Knuckle Fighting Organization and not boxing.
Beautiful. Yeah, excellent. That's a good point to make as well. Because with the title of boxing, it does limit it to that style of combat. So
yeah, so that, and also the organization will, I have plans that I cannot disclose right now because it's more important to focus on the main thing that's coming, and that's the RAGNAROK shows. So yeah.
Excellent. And now with WBKF.tv, what will be the first event on there?
First event will be the Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you have a date?
Sorry. Our event, of course, will be first.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
that's okay.
Our event will be first. Yeah, the 21st of August, we're having the Vikings face the Saxons in Norway, in this beautiful venue. It's outside venue. It's built within the mountains. It's you get this extremely atmosphere when you come in there. It's something that's never been seen before. We have the best of the best. We have sports cars are picking up all the fighters in the arena. We're taking them out. We're building a whole weekend like in that town. So it's more than just a fight camp. It's also a halftime show, which is big as hell. It's going to be a lot of people there who isn't there just for boxing, but they are there for giveaways or for the artists, and it will be a big show for the fighters, and it will be sent all over the world with our streaming app, but also covered by Scandinavian TV companies. The biggest will follow it to make documentaries and all of that. So it's going to be a lot of exposure in that one.
Beautiful. It sounds like you have your plan laid out. You've met with a few obstacles, and you've managed to maneuver around those obstacles and forge forward and keep things going. You were turned down 7 times before you finally got an approval. So for all of you people out there that need a little lesson in perseverance, please look at Stan the Man right here with RAGNAROK brand, and you can see that perseverance, dedication, and commitment pays off. And once August 21st hits, you're going to be able to see that on the big screens in your living rooms, in the bars, live through WBKF.tv, and you'll be able to watch RAGNAROK, bare knuckle fighting.
And I can say one more thing is that there will be some surprises. It's some things that has never been done before in TV setups. So there will come a bonus with this streaming things, and that you will not see coming, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be very, very cool. It's going to be probably changing most of the fight world afterwards. So I can't disclose it right now because it's something about with copyrights and everything, but it's going to be insane cool.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds super exciting to me, and I really look forward to hearing that when you are able to break that news.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, are there any current sponsors pushing the RAGNAROK brand? Like, are you open to new sponsors? Do you have any sponsors already locked down?
We are definitely open to sponsors. I cannot disclose the sponsors right now because we're about to build the platform of who is on top of it. So it would be unprofessional to disclose that. But we are, of course, looking for sponsors. We have a lot of sponsor possibilities. We have a lot of countries. We have a enormous big reach around in the world. So as long as we're going to all these countries and all these different we call it different countries. Let's say that. There are a lot of open spots. We do not push out anybody. Everybody who wants to get in or to get in on it, and it will be a great exposure because of the show and everything. So yeah.
Beautiful. What would be the best way for a potential sponsor to get on with the Ragnarok brand? Who would they contact?
They could contact me or Andrew, and just go by going through the Ragnarok BKB site or RagnarokBKF.com on any social media platform, or they can just contact you, and you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be honored to forward anybody out there in the world who is interested in throwing their name with branding behind the Ragnarok brand. Absolutely, I'd be happy to pass that forward to you directly.
Yeah, and I just mentioned, we have an extreme good team now going here with all these social media platforms, going to different things, going to locations, to cinemas. I can disclose that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's we have a lot of things. It will probably be the biggest marketing shed used. Is that right to say? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's correct.
You'll see something different, and we are coming in hard here in the market, so we got to go in big. So
very nice. Now, through this interview, I'm noticing your shirt that you're wearing there. That's my color scheme, gold and black. I love the color scheme. Can you tell the fans out there what this logo is that you're wearing?
Oh, that's actually my logo. I have it on my sponsor cards and everything. It's S for Stanley and H for Hofsteader and the Viking in the middle. So it's they are also available on the web shop that's coming up now. So
excellent.
So we have a few brands. We're also launching Viking wear, which will be a bigger brand with we are launching in Viking wear. We're launching 8 times. It's called a brand that's Shannon Rich's brand. So Beautiful. He will have his own brand in Viking wear, and
nice.
There's a lot of things coming. Yeah.
So the fighters have opportunity to take part in that branding as well.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that, because that was also something that I'm trying to include. We don't have too much time on it, but I'm taking a fighter as a fighter when I can have the time to do it. But I wanted to build something like a business platform where they can earn money from the start. So what I did was I'd make a design for the fighters, for each fighter. For Yogi, for example, he has his own brand and his own logo and everything, and put them on T-shirts, put them on to a website that sells them, and the money that it makes goes directly to the fighters. Beautiful. So it's like creating like a little income on the side, and for them to evolve if you want to. They have, some of them have hoodies, they have hats and everything. So that's what I'm doing one at a time now. So because I have to design all the logos, and I have to design all the shirts as well. So I'm doing all this at the same time as I got to do it when I have the time. So
excellent. Well, I'll make sure that when this is published online, that we put all the links in for the Ragnarok brand, for the Ragnarok clothing as well. And I just really want to thank you again, Stan, for creating this time in your very busy schedule, especially with the 9-hour time difference between the two of us. And I always look forward to our conversations, and I'm very much looking forward to the next one we have as well, sir.
Yeah, thank you, man. I said, without guys like you and other guys who put us on podcasts, we would not get out there. So you are such an important part of the process that you should be rewarded more. So there should be a reward program for guys like you. So maybe we can make one later.
Hey, I'm definitely all about being there at the beginning stages of things. One of the things that I do myself, I sponsor some fighters. I have hashtag super fighter, and I have some fighters that I sponsor. And what I like to do is get the guys and the girls that are in their amateur careers, right? And just throw a little support behind them. So I love the fact that you and the Ragnarok brand is just starting up, and that the world is just now getting introduced to you guys, because I see a very, very bright future ahead for you. And yeah, it'll be an honor to be able to put any content out with the Ragnarok brand as well. So
yeah, thank you. I'm grateful. I just got to give a little shout out to the fighters, because
sure, please.
As you know, we have a lot of good fighters, and if they came because of the story or because of my good looks, we don't know. But we have a lot of good fighters that we appreciate a lot, and they're good. Many of them are good to do this with we call it the social media things, and mention, and they are all of them are just bragging about Ragnarok. But I want to take the time to just brag about the fighters as well, because there would not be an organization without the fighters. So we are an organization and a promotion that are mainly there for fighters. We are fighters for fighters. So we are there to take care of them. And my long-term goal is to pay enough money to like a year's salary for a fighter to have for 3 fights a year. That would be the maximum time, I think. And that is our goal to achieve.
That's a very good goal to have as well. And it sounds like one that is very fair. One of the things that you see on social media a lot is fighters complaining about pay and whatnot like that. So knowing that there is a future plan that's already being looked at right before the first event is even finished and out there for the world to see, it is very refreshing to see that you have this plan right from the get-go. And as a fan of fighters, I want to thank you for that, because I care about what these girls and guys are going through. And all I want when I'm talking to an organization on behalf of a fighter is fairness, that they both find something mutual that works for them, where they can both benefit and both move on after that experience in a positive way.
I totally agree. You don't need an agent when you're at our organization, because we try to be the agent, we try to be the mom, we try to be the dad and the friend, and we try to help you along. Just like Jack Draper said, Andres has tried to help him along to get onto BKFC. Not many promoters do that, but we care for our fighters, and we hope and wish the best for them. And if they achieve something, we can be some kind of part of that travel or that journey, it would be perfect for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that. Well, Stan, I appreciate again, one more time, I appreciate that that you've taken this time today. And
for you always.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I look forward to the next time we talk. I am Jeff Lott. This is Stan Hofsteader, and we are signing out from the Fonz's office.
Thank you, man.